welcome to Community Connections. I'm Marnie Yule, your host. Glad you're joining us on this beautiful Tuesday before St. Patrick's Day, so I thought I'd dress up and wear a little bit of the green before we celebrate on Thursday, the St. Patrick's Day. We got a great show for you today, so we're going to start it right off with two of my favorite people with one of my favorite organizations, that is Casa Senior Center, celebrating 40 years of serving our community. And joining me is Mona Jurovic, who's a board member. Thank you for your service on board. So, my gosh, we couldn't do it without you. And then a most valuable volunteer, Pam Mason. And welcome, ladies. Good to have you.
Good to be here. Thank you.
Well, I want to tell you that I attended a week ago, it was last Thursday, your celebratory lunch. And that was an amazing afternoon. So many people were there. And the food was delicious, and the entertainment, the Desert Rose dancers were just phenomenal. So much fun.
They were great.
So how long did it take you to plan that lunch?
It was actually pretty fast.
Because you do lunches every day.
Well, it was a little accelerated from what we would have liked, but yeah, we started probably around the end of January, and Pam and I worked very hard on it.
Yes.
And we put together all the decorations and the banner and all the stuff we needed to make it special.
Well, it was a lovely day, and we were happy to be there. Betty Robinson, who's the executive director, has served on the board of directors for the Chamber of Commerce back in the early days when I first started there. So she holds a very special place in my heart, as does Pam. I've known Pam since practically I moved here in 2006. So, Pam, tell us a little bit about what you do at the Casa Senior Center.
Primarily, I drive for Meals on Wheels. To me, it's a really important program that is run through CASA.
Mm-hmm.
And we deliver between 45 and 60 meals a day.
Oh, wow.
And it's a fresh meal every day. They cook at the same meal that they serve in the dining room.
Mm-hmm.
And we always need volunteers, by the way. If anybody's looking for a good thing to do, it takes a couple hours of your day, one time a week, to deliver food to folks in the community who, for whatever number of reasons, can't get out or don't cook.
Mm-hmm.
I know that there isn't a week that goes by that I don't think there isn't someday I could be on the other side of that door.
Right.
And
that probably makes a difference to them, not only having the hot, fresh meal, but also seeing a smiling face and some companionship for a little while.
I think that's really important because a number of the folks we deliver to are alone. They live by themselves. And during the pandemic time, there was a lot of loneliness. So I think that just a human face every day, somebody they can say hi to and connect with, I think that's important.
And how often do you deliver?
I just do once a week.
Once a week, okay. So you can make your own time as a volunteer.
Yes, you don't know.
Give what you can.
One day a week is fine. And as I say, it's max 2 hours. And it's in Prescott Valley, all the deliveries.
Well, 40 years of constantly being around and serving the communities. It's come a long way. Added services. I know Betty's been there many, many, many years and has been a strong advocate for those in our community. What is it she say? Procedures are not in the way, they made the way.
Yes.
I've heard that for years and years. So tell us a little bit about what you've got going on now. We've got a lot of people that have just recently moved to the community, maybe are looking for that special place to get to know other folks. Why should they come to CASA?
Well, that really is our goal, to try and reach out to the new people and people who don't even know about the CASA, because as much as we advertise, it's amazing how many people aren't aware. But we have so many different programs, obviously not beyond the Meals on Wheels. We have in-house dining that we offer to seniors who are more mobile, and they can come in and for $5 a lunch, they have a beautiful lunch. And it's not just the lunch, but it's the socializing.
Right.
We have many regulars that are there every single day, and they come as a group and they hang out, and then we have lots of other activities. We have line dancing and card and table games and crafts of all different types.
These are scheduled throughout the day.
Throughout the day and the week.
Okay.
It just depends. The Desert Rose dancers practice there. I mean, a lot of people use that facility for more than just, coming in to do something. They actually use the space for, practicing or whatever.
Right.
So we do have some room to do that, and so we schedule a lot of different things. But yeah, as Pam mentioned, volunteers. There's something for everyone.
When you also have the thrift shop there and then a food pantry.
Yes, we
for
do.
those that need it. And then what was it? Somebody was telling me once a month you have a flea market. You could go in and shop
Yep.
too, and get some treasures.
Yep, the last 2 days of the month, they have, people come in and have their crafts or just flea market items or whatever
Right.
that they offer. And it's becoming more popular because we've been doing it every month, the last 2 days of the month. So it's a regular thing that people
Oh,
can do.
that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Well, Pam brought a prop here. I'm just going to kind of share it. Maybe you can or cannot see it. This is called the Clarion, and it is their monthly newsletter. It is jam-packed full of information of what's
That it
going
is.
on in CASA. I mean, incredible, from all the activities to go, the volunteers that need it. But also, CASA celebrates a lot of holidays. One of the big things that you celebrate in your honor every year is our veterans. So Veterans Day, you usually have a special luncheon. Mother's Day, there's the 100 birthdays. We have very special people in our community who reach their 100th birthday, so those are celebrated. A little bit of everything that makes CASA a big part of the community, and a big part of not only our senior community, but of all ages. It is, you can be a member of CASA, and it's very reasonable to join.
Yes.
$30.
$30 a year, and then you get discounts and special invitations to some of the activities, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then also, additional sponsorship. But you're invited to lunch, and they put your birthday in here, so every month they have a special birthday month, and makes it a fun place to go and gather with your friends.
And we also have the after-tax contribution that they can take advantage of, which is
So, okay, so you qualify for the charitable giving
Arizona,
tax?
yes.
Uh-huh.
Oh, wonderful. What did you bring here? You brought a little treasure, too. It's
Yes. One of our things, the props, I guess, that we did for the cheers on to 40 years for the annual, or this 40-year celebration, is we painted 40 rocks, and they've been placed out in the community. And
Ooh, a treasure hunt.
Oh, yeah.
A rock treasure hunt.
all over.
Because
And
if you find this rock,
you get to have a free lunch at the Casa.
okay. Well, I'll tell you, the lunch we had the other day, if it's, was amazing. Just super delicious. Of course, it was a special occasion, and it was, I felt like I was having Thanksgiving in March, but it was wonderful. But again, if you see these out in the community, pick it up and bring it to CASA. Do they have to make a reservation, or do they just come over?
No, they can come over, yeah.
Say,
No
and
problem.
I found this rock. So CASA Senior Center is located where?
9360 Manzanita Circle in Prescott Valley. It's really at the far east end of Spouse Road, and it's take a left and you're on the circle and you can't miss it.
And for more information, if somebody wants to call.
928-772-3337.
Great. Well, thank you both for joining us. CASA Senior Center celebrating 40 years. We'll be right back after this short break.
Okay, so we drowned the fire, stirred it, drowned it again, and now just feel if it's cold.
Yeah.
Cool.
Smokey just gave me a bear hug.
I know. I already posted it.
Roll over. Chance high five. All right. When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover all the things that make them unique.
And your mother and
I am totally a hat person. Right, guys? Thanks for being honest. They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love. Adopt pure love at theshelterpetproject.org.
Hello and welcome back to Community Connections. Marnie Yule, your host, continuing on with some great things we have going on in community. And joining me now is Devin Caracciolo. Is it pretty good?
Yeah.
Caracciolo.
Caracciolo. Yeah.
Caracciolo. And he's going to be here talking about Subi Wars Next Gen. I remember when you first had this idea of Subi Wars, and everybody's going, what is that?
Right.
So, Devin, I'm going to give you an opportunity, being this is your third event that you had.
Yeah.
So you had it last year, right?
Yep. And then we had the year before that in September.
You had it in September, and then you moved it to a different time of year.
Yeah. Spring just seemed better. The weather up here is a little more predictable.
Yes.
So
yes.
we never know when we get the first snow. And in the fall going to winter. So
Oh, that's for darn
Yeah,
sure, you know?
so we
But- and
picked-
then again, sometimes, so we got the date coming up is April 9th.
Yep.
And happy birthday to my sister, by the way, because that's her birthday. But anyway, now I could know what's going on. Okay, tell us about Subi Wars.
So Subi Wars is a Subaru car show. It's kind of my thing. I'm big into Subarus.
Interesting.
Right.
How did you get interested in Subarus?
Long story short, I was 12 in the car with my mom, and one came zipping by on the freeway, and it was just something about the way it looked, the way it sounded. It caught my attention, and from that point forward, I was just hooked. Then I got into the all-wheel drive aspect, so people drive them up in the northern part of the country because of the snow, so capable to go anywhere, but you still have a car, you don't have to have a truck.
Right.
And then I got into the community, which is really almost like a cult following. The Subaru people that are like Subaru enthusiasts, it's just like a weird family kind of bond you have when you see somebody else out and about. You just can strike conversation up. It's not like any other car brand. It's kind of strange, but
Interesting,
it's-
because you know of a lot of car brands and haven't really heard that.
right.
Yeah.
It's really unique, and the brand itself pushes that.
Yeah.
For people, they do a lot of like outdoors events and stuff like that to push people to create networks in their own communities, and it just kind of happens on its own. It's just like
Right.
a self-perpetual situation where it just builds its own community. You put a page up, and next thing you know, you got 50, 60 people in the community. They're
I'll
all
be
part
darned.
of it, and we're doing barbecues and garage days. So
Wow. So a year and a half ago, you came up with this idea to have this. It was a one-day event, right?
yeah,
Uh-huh.
that was Subaru Fest, which I got in trouble for because I used the word Subaru and didn't ask. so I got
okay.
an email about that. So we changed it to Subi Wars, kind of a little influence from a friend of mine who had another company called Race Wars. We ran with that because it was less of a conflict.
Sure,
And now
sure.
Subaru backs our events. So it went from them being mad to, hey, let's
Hey, I think
let's
you got
be
a good
on
thing
board
going. I
right,
want to
and
support that.
this. Right.
Okay.
What I realized is for me, a lot of the car shows that were around in the early 2000s, very enthusiast based. It was always tough to bring your kids. Or if you have kids, it was tough to go because you got to find a sitter, and it was one of those things. So I started this whole concept of we want you to bring your kids. The next gen concept started out as a joke, kind of trying to play off, unfortunately, the COVID thing, pulling people out of that mentality that they're afraid of everything and just saying, hey, let's infect the next generation with our car enthusiast bug. It didn't go over well. People were like, that's really insensitive. You shouldn't be saying that. So it's also for us to embrace the newer models of the Subarus that are kind of adapting like the rest of the world to the electric market. So we have a lot of the old school ones, we call them the legends of the Subaru generations that we still appreciate and want to show up. But we also want people that maybe just picked up their first Subaru to feel comfortable coming out, even though they haven't done anything to it. They haven't, put any special wheels or tires or anything on it. Just come out
Okay.
and see the community and bring your kids, bring your dogs.
So let's talk about April 9th, your event. It starts at 10 and goes to 4. Where's it going to be held?
It's at Findlay Toyota Center
Okay.
in the big parking lot. So we got a better venue this year. The parking lot is definitely a lot better than the one we were in last year. Bigger. The kids zone we're going to have this year is actually going to be much larger. We're going to have 3 to 4 big inflatables. So it's not just the one. So people can bring their kids. They sign a little form when they get there, and the kids can just play and they can enjoy the event.
right.
And we're going to have food vendors this year on site, so you don't have to go drive around in town to find food. You can do that the day before when you come in if you're staying overnight, or you can go after the event to dinner at a local restaurant, support the community. But yeah, it's much more family focused this year.
So are there special activities associated with it, or is it mostly a car show?
So it is a car show.
Okay.
We do have this year, we have 90 plus trophies that we're doing this year. So a lot of
Wow.
opportunity for people to bring whatever they have out and be able to walk with a trophy of some kind.
So what are the trophies given for?
So we have different classes. There's so many of them now. We keep expanding. One of our sponsors actually is making all of our trophies out of acrylic plexiglass and wood. It's a really kind of unique design he's doing. We have first, second, third place for like the basic things you have at car shows, like best engine bay. People spend a lot of money in powder coating, and they take all their time cleaning them, making them like a showpiece, almost like an art form. And then we have like best interior, best audio setup, exterior, and then overall. And then we're also doing out-of-state ones, because last year we had a large group of people from Colorado come out, which is a 12 to 14-hour drive, and they came up for 3 to 4 days. Because this community, like I said, is just it's a really weird connection you have with other people, but they heard about it and they all made the drive, and we had 58 Colorado people come out.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, and we had some from California, so we're doing out-of-state awards, like furthest driven awards. We're doing like 4x4 awards this year because a lot of people decide to lift them and go off-roading and camping and kayaking, and so the awards is a much broader spectrum, so more people can feel that what they did or what they put time into is appreciated, because it is. It's all different
Who
aspects.
does the judging?
So we have judges.
Okay.
This year, we planned much better. I learned a lot last year.
As with
Yeah.
any event, when you start out,
Right.
you know, you learn how to you fine tune it.
Yeah, so
Yes.
we have judges that will be kind of incognito. They're going to be doing the judging. They'll have volunteer help to the score sheets in. We're going to be judging much more on the earlier side to get this all accomplished, so the event is much smoother through the whole process.
So is there registration required for those that want to participate in the judging?
So
Or
if
bring
you,
their car?
If they bring their car, so that's actually the cool part, is this year when you come in, it's only $5 for your Subaru to get in the door, and you're automatically in the car show. So whatever you have, even if you don't want the car to be judged, it's getting judged. If you end up winning an award from it, awesome, but there's not going to be a separation so that everybody that wants to come in, there's less confusion. There's less issues of anybody going, well, I didn't know this was the parking for the car show and this wasn't. The whole parking lot is going to have that opportunity.
So what do you say to somebody that doesn't have a Subaru? Are they welcome to come?
Absolutely.
And look at them and,
Yep.
and check everything out?
Yep, we're doing, it's $1 to get in. And literally
Okay.
making this as inexpensive as possible so everybody in the community can come out. Even if you want to just bring your kids to play in the kids zone and you're not even a car person. We want everybody to come out, have a good time, stay the entire time that you're there, enjoy the cars. If you're not a Subaru person, but you like anything with a motor, there's plenty of opportunities to see some of the vendors that we should have out there showing what they're bringing out for our community and other cars.
So you'll have vendors too.
Yeah.
So any information? Do you have a website
Yep.
or a Facebook page?
Yeah, so website is easiest to get everything. It's www.subiwars, it's SUBIWARS.com. It has a link to everything. We do have pre-order stuff. It's not for registration, it's just for shirts and for hoodies. That ends this Thursday at midnight.
Okay.
So it's the cutoff's like right there.
So here we go, Devin. Thank you so much. We ran out of
Appreciate you.
time to share more. April 9th
Yep.
from 10 to
10 to 4, 10 to 5.
10 to 5 here.
Yep.
Subi Wars, Next Gen.
Thanks, Marnie.
Finley Toyota Center parking lot. Thank you for joining us. We'll be right back.
It appears these hot ashes are about to be dumped, which could possibly start a wildfire. How will Smokey deal with such a hot situation? The garden hose defense. Next, a thorough stir. Then another spray. And finally, feeling if the ashes are cool.
Oh, yeah.
Ah yes, the selfie. A ritual practiced so frequently with this tribe, but not so much by Smokey Bear.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Oh, look, a redhead.
Staring contest.
You still got it.
I know. Come alive with the forest.
The dad was cute.
You were looking right at us. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
And welcome back to Community Connections. I'm Arnie Yu, your host again. Continuing with a great show. Joining me now is Marla Dykeman. She is the Donor Relations Director for Yavapai Big Brothers Big Sisters. And what's coming back? Bowl for Kids' Sake. Yay! And I already tell you the Chamber has a team together. Right. Kim and Katie and I and Jeremy and Chris. Pin pals, so watch out. We're just going to come out and bold support Yavapai Big Brothers Big Sisters because that's what it's all about.
That's exactly it.
And you had to go on a hiatus for a little while.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Our organization, like others, had to take a pause when it came to our events, but we're excited about the opportunity to be back. We had a 2-year hiatus, so we're back and big and better than ever, and just looking forward to offering this for our community as a chance to celebrate really what's happening at the organization, our 50-year history, what we've been doing for our bigs and littles, and just excited about the opportunity to bowl and just have a fun day together.
And like you said, it is a celebration. Obviously, we want to support Yavapai Big Brothers Big Sisters assisting with making those matches between the bigs and the littles, which does cost money. But then again, it's also not all about that too. It's about fundraising and helping, but really celebrating the good work that you do. And there's always featured bigs and littles at the bowling, and you see faces and know the difference that you're making by helping. So tell us a little bit about Big Brothers, Yavapai Big Brothers Big Sisters.
Sure. Yavapai Big Brothers Big Sisters has been around this community for over 50 years. We create and professionally support one-to-one relationships with a big and a little. And together those relationships are long-lasting and certainly have a meaningful role in the lives of our kids that are in our community. Our organization serves about 200 matches annually, and we provide them with really robust support. You know, we look at our bigs that are coming from all walks of life, and so are our littles. And, you know, what comes out of that match or relationships is really beautiful. But what we do behind the scenes is provide support, so not only our bigs feel like they're, you know, getting the resources that they need to be in their relationship with their little, but also for our littles and their families, so they have increased stability, and so they have what they need in their household as well, which we've seen throughout this pandemic. Just those needs are great. And so coming back together for Bowl for Kids' Sake certainly is a celebration of coming back together and doing something that's fun, but also has meaning and purpose, because what we've seen over the past couple of years is just, you know, really tough time for our kids and their families. And so, you know, we're really looking forward to bringing that back this April.
So during this past couple of years, though, did you see a little bit of a drop in, you know, people becoming bigs and mentors, and kind of slowed down because there's just, maybe it's not the exposure, the things you really couldn't do?
Absolutely.
So now you are looking that we're back and we need bigs.
Right, and Bowl for Kids' Sake is a great example of, yes, as you said, Marnie, it is a fundraising event, but it's also about recruitment. It's an opportunity for awareness and for us to be able to speak to the need for bigs. Every year, on average, we have an active wait list of about 100 littles. They're actively waiting for a big to be matched with them. And, you know, they're ready to take that next step to be in that mentoring relationship. And so we're just looking for the bigs that are willing to have that same level of commitment and to step up to the plate. But not unlike what you mentioned, you know, really the past couple of years, people have been, you know, challenged with stepping up and making that volunteer commitment just because of the prevalence of safety and the risk of, you know, the COVID-19 pandemic. But as we're, you know, seeing that, you know, there's light and there's, you know, a light at the end of the tunnel, and that, you know, we're coming back to more regular in-person activities, there certainly is an opportunity for more, you know, regular programming like Big Brothers Big Sisters is offering. And so we do have, you know, that volunteer opportunity available for those that are looking to become a big.
So looking for bigs, are there any specific requirements to becoming a big? And how does somebody go about getting the information and finding out how they go about becoming a big?
Sure. Well, the first step is to visit our website, azbigs.org. That provides a really robust outline and also has some FAQs of what it's like to be a big. You know, really what it needs or what the need is to become a big is someone that just has the time and the willingness to step up and be that committed individual in the life of our youth. And we know that caring, stable adult relationship has such a positive impact on the lives of our littles. And so, you know, that experience not only is super meaningful for our littles, but equally as meaningful for our bigs. And we have, you know, many bigs that stay in their match relationship for over 46 months. And they'll continue to get another match as their, you know, little ages out of the program. And so it certainly is a really important relationship that has value for both sides. And, you know, just that individual that's ready to take that next step is really what we're looking for. We provide the rest of the, you know, the training, the onboarding, the screening, obviously putting a adult in the lives of a, you know, youth. We are making sure we do our due diligence, but we have it all mapped out, and we've been doing it for over 50 years. And so really, you know, we are that thought leader that can make sure that experience is really meaningful and professional for not only our littles, but for the bigs as well.
Well, you mentioned the time commitment, because that's a lot of things that might, on occasion, kind of have somebody step back and say, I don't have the time to give.
Yeah.
How would you answer that?
I would say it's about 8 hours a month. So how many episodes are you binge watching, you know, on a weekend? Because essentially you could probably be taking that and, you know, having a more meaningful experience. And, you know, we've certainly seen coming out of the pandemic that, you know, we can be creative in how we're in those relationships too, right? It could be a blend of some virtual and some in person. We do ask that, you know, if there is a virtual match, that it will shift to becoming, you know, an in-person one eventually. But that is an option too for those that are out there that are saying, you know, I'd rather start in that, you know, way. But it's something that's easy to do. And, you know, when you see the value of that relationship, it becomes a priority, and it's something that isn't hard to make time for in your schedules.
Right. So let's go back to Bowl for Kids' Sake. So what does that look like? I mean, do you sign up? How do you put together teams? Is it, like I said, at my business at the Prescott Valley Chamber, we did put a team together. We've been doing it for many, 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 many years.
And
It's
thank you
always
for
been
that.
passionate about not only supporting Yavapai Big Brothers Big Sisters, but going out there and having a good time.
Yes.
And what it also has generated is good team building within us together, that we have a good day bowling and supporting Yavapai Big Brothers Big Sisters, and we go back to work on Monday and have stories about what happened on Saturday when we were out there bowling. So.
Sure, and we see a large amount of our participants are really coming from corporations, right? Because it is that kind of team outing, that team bonding type of opportunity. But essentially what Bowl for Kids' Sake is it's a 2-weekend event. So you can either participate in the first weekend, which is April 2nd and 3rd, or the second, which is April 9th and 10th. And it happens all throughout the Quad Cities as well as the Verde Valley. And so we engage, the entire county in this event, which is really exciting. And so essentially a team comes together through the support of a team captain that rallies 5 or 6 other individuals to be on their team. You go out and you generate some pledges, which is somebody that says, I'm supporting you and supporting Big Brothers Big Sisters. And then the celebration that comes afterwards is the actual bowling. And so it's a great opportunity to see that it's a community rally that really supports the agency, which is exciting.
Which is a lot of fun. You have a whole bowling alley full of people that are bowling for the kids. And
Right.
It's amazing.
It's for the kids.
And then
yeah.
there's always pizza.
There's always pizza, yes. We make sure you're fed. You mentioned the prizes earlier. It's fun. There's prizes and just an opportunity to be in celebration, which is really what, being a child is all about. So it kind of
Well,
takes
let's
us
give
to our
everybody the
roots.
website, because I know that's where the
Sure.
information is to sign up for a Bowl for Kids' Sake.
Yes, it is www.azbigs.org.
Mara Duggan, thank you for joining us.
Thank
and
you
again,
so
we'll see
much.
you at the bowling alley.
See you
Thank
there.
you for joining us. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Thanks so much.